All right, so let's dive into something that I think's been on a lot of business owners' minds lately.
Okay.
Breaking into the Chinese market.
Yeah.
You hear about all the incredible opportunities there.
Yeah.
But then, reality hits.
Right.
The thought of navigating those complex labor laws
Oh, yeah.
can be a real showstopper.
It's definitely a concern. I mean, for companies used to operating, in more familiar territories, China's regulations can feel like a whole different ballgame.
Exactly. And it's easy to get overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. What if I told you there's a way to tap into China's massive talent pool
Okay.
without all the headaches of traditional hiring?
Well, that's where independent contractors come in. China's gig economy is absolutely exploding. We're talking about projections of 400 million freelancers by 2036.
Wow.
It's a completely different approach to building a workforce.
400 million. That's just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Okay. So for anyone who might not be totally up to speed, let's break this down.
Sure.
What exactly defines an independent contractor in China?
Think of it this way. They're highly skilled individuals who offer specific services, on a project basis. They're not your typical 9-to-5 employee.
Right.
They manage their own taxes. They're not bound by long-term contracts. And they operate outside of traditional employer-employee structures.
So it's more like bringing in a specialist for a specific project or need without all the commitment of a full-time hire.
Exactly. And that flexibility is a huge draw for both sides.
Yeah.
Companies get access to specialized skills when they need them, and contractors can choose projects that align with their expertise and interests.
But I imagine that distinction between an employee and a contractor can get pretty blurry.
Yeah.
Especially when you're dealing with international regulations.
Absolutely. And this is where things can get tricky in China. Their labor laws are very specific about this distinction.
Okay.
And misclassifying a contractor as an employee can lead to some serious penalties.
Okay, so we're talking about real legal risks here.
Oh, yeah.
Can you give us an idea of what kind of consequences a company might face if they get this wrong?
Well, imagine hefty fines, back taxes, even potential legal action. There was a case a while back where a tech company, let's just say they weren't familiar with the nuances of Chinese labor law.
Right.
They misclassified a group of developers as contractors. It ended up costing them millions in fines and really tarnished their reputation in the Chinese market. It's a cautionary tale for any business looking to operate there.
Yikes. That's definitely a situation you want to avoid.
For sure.
So let's talk about the elephant in the room actually paying these contractors.
Okay.
What are the common methods in China and what are some of the challenges?
Well, you have the traditional methods like direct deposits, but those can be a logistical nightmare, especially when it comes to tracking payments for tax purposes. And while checks might be standard in some places, they're pretty much extinct in China these days.
Or everything's going digital.
Pretty much digital payment platforms like WeChat Pay and Alipay are king in China.
Right.
They're incredibly convenient for everyday transactions, but they can pose some real hurdles for businesses operating outside of China.
What kind of hurdles are we talking about?
Well, for starters, setting up and managing those accounts from abroad can be a real headache. There are regulations and verification processes that can be difficult to navigate without a local presence.
I see.
And then there's the issue of currency exchange and transfer fees, which can eat into your budget if you're not careful.
So it sounds like there are a lot of potential pitfalls for businesses trying to manage contractor payments in China. Is there a way to simplify this and minimize those risks?
Absolutely. That's where a solution like INS Global comes into play. They specialize in making these complexities manageable, especially for businesses that are new to the Chinese market.
Okay, so let's talk about INS Global.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about their approach that makes them so effective in this space?
Well, one of the key things is their local presence. They have teams on the ground in China who understand the ins and outs of the system.
Okay.
This allows them to handle all the intricate details of contractor payments, ensuring everything is done by the book and in compliance with Chinese regulations.
So they're like your trusted guide through this legal maze.
Exactly. They take the burden off your shoulders so you can focus on what you do best, running your business. And that peace of mind is invaluable, especially when you're dealing with the complexities of international business.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, let's say you found a contractor who's absolutely crushing it, and you're thinking, this person needs to be on my team permanently.
Right.
Is it even possible to transition a contractor to a full-time employee in China?
Absolutely. It's actually quite common if you develop a strong working relationship with a contractor and see a long-term fit.
Yeah.
You can definitely explore transitioning them to a full-time employee. It's a win-win. They gain stability and benefits, and you get to keep a valuable team member.
And I'm guessing INS Global can help navigate that transition as well.
Of course, they can handle all the necessary paperwork, visa applications, and legal requirements to ensure a smooth transition for both you and the employee. It's like having a dedicated HR team in China, even if you're halfway across the world.
This is starting to sound less like a minefield and more like a real opportunity. It seems like there are solutions out there to tackle these challenges head on.
There definitely are, with the right approach and the right partners like INS Global. Navigating the complexities of working with contractors in China can become a manageable and even strategic advantage for your business.
So, for our listeners out there who might be on the fence about exploring the Chinese market, what would you say is the biggest takeaway from this part of our deep dive?
I'd say it's this: don't let the perceived complexities of the Chinese market scare you away.
Yeah,
There are solutions and partners out there that can help you navigate the challenges and unlock the incredible potential that China's workforce has to offer.
I love that. So, if you're intrigued by the possibilities of working with independent contractors in China and you're ready to explore those options further, what's the best way to connect with INS Global?
It's simple. Contact INS Global today and tell them about your expansion project. Their team of experts is ready and waiting to help you turn your global ambitions into reality.
It's amazing how working with contractors can really open doors for businesses, especially those looking to expand internationally. We've talked about China, but there are so many other exciting markets out there.
You're absolutely right. And one that comes to mind, especially when we're discussing INS Global's expertise, is Macau.
Macau, that's a place that sparks a lot of curiosity. What makes it such a hot spot for business expansion?
Well, Macau is this unique blend of East meets West. It's a special administrative region of China,
Right.
which means it has its own distinct set of laws and regulations.
Okay,
This creates a really attractive environment for foreign investment.
so it's like a gateway to China, but with its own unique advantages.
Exactly. Plus, Macau is a global hub for tourism and entertainment, think world-class infrastructure and a highly skilled workforce.
Mhm.
It's really a recipe for success for businesses looking to expand their global footprint.
But I'm guessing that hiring in Macau, even with its business-friendly environment, still comes with its own set of challenges.
Definitely navigating the local labor laws and regulations can be complex, especially for companies unfamiliar with the region. It's essential to have a solid understanding of things like employment contracts, taxation, and Social Security contributions.
So how can businesses ensure they're staying on the right side of the law and avoiding potential pitfalls when hiring in Macau?
Well, that's where INS Global's expertise really shines. They offer a solution called an Employer of Record, or EOR, which is a game changer for companies looking to expand into Macau.
Okay, I have to admit, EOR is a term I hear thrown around a lot,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure I fully grasp what it entails. Can you break it down for us?
Think of an EOR like a legal guardian for your employees in Macau. They essentially act as the legal employer for your employees, handling all the intricate aspects of employment like payroll, taxes, and compliance with local labor laws.
So it's like having a local partner who takes care of all the HR heavy lifting, allowing you to focus on building your team and growing your business.
Exactly. It's about minimizing risk and maximizing efficiency.
That sounds incredibly valuable, especially for businesses entering a new market. What are some of the key things INS Global handles as an EOR in Macau?
Well, as I mentioned, they take care of payroll, making sure your employees are paid accurately and on time in accordance with local laws. They also handle all the necessary contracts and paperwork, making sure everything is legally sound and compliant.
Sounds like they've got all the bases covered.
They do, and perhaps most importantly, they provide expert guidance on local labor laws and regulations, ensuring your business stays compliant and avoids any legal pitfalls.
That peace of mind is priceless. It seems like they're a one-stop shop for businesses looking to expand into Macau.
They are, and the best part is they offer these services in over 100 countries, so wherever you're looking to expand, INS Global has you covered.
That's impressive. Let's go back to Macau for a second. What are some of the specific benefits of using INS Global's EOR services there? I mean, why would a company choose this route over setting up their own entity?
One of the biggest advantages is speed with INS Global's EOR. You can onboard employees in Macau quickly and efficiently without having to go through the lengthy process of setting up your own legal entity. It can take months, even years, to establish a local presence, whereas with an EOR, you can be up and running in a matter of weeks.
So it's like a fast track to getting your operations up and running.
Exactly. And it eliminates a lot of the red tape and bureaucracy that can really bog down companies trying to expand internationally.
And I imagine it's significantly more cost effective than setting up your own entity in Macau, right?
Absolutely. INS Global's EOR services are a much more affordable option, especially for businesses just starting out in Macau. It allows you to test the waters and get a feel for the market without a huge financial commitment up front.
That makes sense. It seems like a low risk, high reward solution for companies looking to tap into the Macau market.
Precisely. It's about minimizing risk and maximizing the potential for success in a new and exciting market.
So, for our listeners who might be considering expanding their business into Macau, what would you say is the most compelling reason to consider INS Global's EOR services?
In a nutshell, it comes down to peace of mind with INS Global as your EOR partner in Macau. You can rest assured that all your employment-related matters are being handled professionally and compliantly. You're free to focus on what you do best, building your business and establishing your brand in this exciting new market.
That's a powerful message. Peace of mind is such a valuable asset in the often chaotic world of global expansion.
Absolutely. It's about having a trusted partner by your side, guiding you every step of the way.
You know, something we talked about earlier that really stood out to me was the possibility of transitioning independent contractors to full-time employees. Is this something that's feasible in a market like Macau?
Yes, and it's a great example of the flexibility that INS Global offers. They can adapt to your evolving needs as your business grows, whether you're starting with contractors and later decide to hire full-time employees or vice versa. They can seamlessly manage that transition.
So they're not just a one-trick pony. They're a full-service solution for global expansion.
Precisely. They're there to support your growth every step of the way.
That's fantastic. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground in this part of our deep dive.
You're right.
We've explored the ins and outs of working with independent contractors in China, and we've delved into the exciting opportunities that Macau presents for businesses looking to expand their reach. I feel like we've given our listeners a lot to think about, when it comes to global expansion and this whole evolving landscape of work. It's clear that, independent contractors are becoming a major force, and with the right approach, businesses can really leverage that talent pool to achieve some pretty remarkable things.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. We've seen firsthand how companies, both large and small, are embracing this, new model of work and achieving incredible results.
So as we wrap up our deep dive today,
Mm.
what's the one key message you want our listeners to walk away with?
I think it's this: the world is your oyster when it comes to talent. Don't let geographical boundaries limit your vision with the right partners like INS Global. You can tap into a global workforce and achieve your expansion goals no matter where they may lead you.
I love that the world is your oyster. It's so true. And with the gig economy booming, there's never been a better time to explore those possibilities.
Exactly. And INS Global is the perfect guide to navigate that journey, ensuring you're doing things the right way, compliantly, and with confidence.
So for anyone listening who's feeling inspired to take that leap, what's the best way for them to connect with INS Global and start exploring their options?
It's simple. Reach out to them today and tell them about your expansion project. Their team of experts is ready and waiting to help you turn your global ambitions into reality.
That's a call to action. I can get behind, expand your horizons, reach out to INS Global and make the world your oyster.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the world of independent contractors and global expansion. We hope you found it insightful, inspiring, and maybe even a little bit life-changing. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep reaching for the stars.